Hi, everyone. If you're still there and you're still loyal to this channel, there is not enough words. There's not enough words from my heart to describe my apologies to all of you and my gratitude if you're still subscribed to this channel, because I didn't post a video in such a long time, and the reason is beyond reasons, because uh, things just happened so much and so rapidly, and so many exchanges of twin flame energy and channelings have happened in my life since my last video, that I just, every time there was a certain moment that I could conclude something and talk about it, another moment came in and just took over that previous story, and I just couldn't find the right moment to sit down and talk to you guys and share. And I guess I just wasn't feeling like it. That's the only way I can describe it. I was just doing the twin flame thing, and today is finally some sort of a breakthrough, some sort of a moment of turning point, of point of no return, that I have to share this. And on the top of that, there's always that feeling that these videos are so important to share, these stories that I go through, that I think my karma just stops. Like, everything stops. It doesn't move any further unless I make a new video. So I'm also not just obligated, I feel that obligation constantly every single day to share with you. All this time, every single day, I think about making a new video. So it's not just about obligation, but it's also feeling that I need this. I need to share. Universe wants me to share this so that it can get unstuck in a way. So it's so hard. It's almost impossible to describe to you everything that I went through since the last video, but I can try to recap. If you followed my previous videos, you heard about Marin, you heard about Merim. That was channelers from 2019. When I returned to Europe, I was hoping to see Merim again, the waiter, the guy on the motorcycle, if you remember the story. And in the meantime, he started a relationship. He got trapped in a relationship with another woman. When I realized that, it was before my trip to Europe, when I was still in the United States, and we were in contact, and then suddenly he was acting up again. And then I noticed on his social media that he was dating someone, and she posted some comments. So I texted her. I sent her a message, and she never responded. It didn't seem that it was even seen by her. However, when I arrived to Europe, and I wasn't intending to break up his relationship with her, but I did want to see him again. And the destiny was that before he hooked up with that woman, I sent him a gift for his birthday from United States to Germany, where he was staying during the winter. And the package returned. It returned to United States. It didn't find him. In the meantime, he went back to Bosnia, met that woman, started a relationship with her. So what happened is I decided to bring that package, that gift for him, which was a beautiful motorcycle perfume. Yes, perfume that has like wheels. It's a motorcycle and it has perfume in the wheels. It's just amazing. It was just a memory of his motorbike, his motorcycle that we rode on the summer before, and I just thought it was a cute gift for the birthday. So when I realized he started a relationship with someone else over social media, when I saw the photos and stuff, I decided that no matter what, I would still bring him his gift, because it was destined to return from the address in Germany, and because he wasn't there anymore, he was there on a seasonal work, and so I decided to bring it to him, no matter what. And when I came back to Europe, to Bosnia, I didn't contact him. I didn't want to get meddle in his relationship. It was his choice. I knew he was making a mistake, but I didn't think that woman ever read my message. And suddenly he contacted me again. He said he was single again. He wasn't with her. He broke up. He wants to be with me. I just gave him his gift. I fell for his charms again because our energy and what we feel for each other is intense. It's so intense. It's so crazy and unavoidable that I just fell for his charms again. That's the shortest way I can explain. And we made love again. And then turns out he was lying to me. He was still trapped in that relationship. However, she contacted me that afternoon and she said that she did read my messages back in the winter, and she said, I was sorry that I didn't reply to you. I'm sorry. I should have replied to you because, now he's cheating on me with you. He's cheating on you with somebody else. So he was just going wild. He was going crazy. And I still couldn't blame him because I felt and I still feel that he was getting even with me for the summer before, when we had the misunderstanding, when he ran out of my house, and I thought he just didn't want to be with me, while he just saw some messages in my phone that he misunderstood, but he didn't want to tell me that he spied on my phone while I was in the bathroom. So after that, when I thought he didn't want to be with me, I'm talking about 2019, like I talked about in the previous videos, then I met someone in the mosque. As me being still religious, I took offer from that very, very handsome young man who offered me marriage, and we started like being engaged, and he saw me with that man. And when that didn't work out, because that man was a karmic relationship and we had nothing in common whatsoever except our religion, of course. And when I realized I cannot seek my soulmate, my twin flame, inside the religion anymore, it has nothing to do with the buildings and worship houses. It has nothing to do with that. I may find a guy in a bar that is my soulmate, my twin flame, right? I broke up with that guy. I was back with this guy, but he never really forgave me for seeing me with someone else. It was probably hurtful for him. Of course it was. He actually told me that it was brutal that he saw me with someone else. So when I was back in the United States, he hooked up with this woman, and I think it was karmic. It was meant to be. She looks like me a lot. She has a child, and I think this is the most important point. And everything that I share with you guys, it's supposed to be something that you can find relation to with your own stories. So what I'm saying is, he met a woman who just recently got divorced and moved into our hometown, and she had a child. She had a daughter about, I think, 7 or 8 years old. And him, as I talked about previous videos, him being hurt from childhood trauma, that his mother was left very, very pregnant with the twins, because he has a twin sister. And then he never met his father, and he's fatherless all his life, especially in a small town like ours. It's kind of, you know what I mean. It's kind of looked down upon, and he grew up that way, and just being without father figure, and being traumatized by love, by being afraid of being loved and being left, abandonment issues. He was afraid that I was gonna cheat on him. He was afraid that I would leave him eventually, and that's why he was on and off and running away from me and running back to me in 2019. So he met this woman, and he was playing a father to this child. And so I'm just gonna recap this story, what happened when I left, because there's, like I said, there's so many stories, so many things that happened to me, so many relationships with so many different people, that it's kind of hard to jump from one story to another. So I'm just gonna jump in a timeline with this story, with this guy, with Miriam. What happened is, when I came back to the United States this November 2020, she contacted me again, and she said that he abused her physically, that she was pregnant with his child, and that she lost a baby. And I couldn't believe that he would be violent to anyone. She also said that he told her he was going to kill herself. And I was shocked. I was shocked that he was going through all that. And I feel and I know that this is he felt trapped. He knew he made mistake, that he was with the wrong person to make someone even. It was a childish thing to do, which is about the same thing that I did in 2019. So that's just kind of happening right now. She just texted me recently and she said, I want to be a friend with you. And somehow, even though I feel for her, and no matter what, there's no excuse for beating up a woman. I still feel love for him, and I still feel that what he did, there must be more to that. And I still do not trust this woman fully, that everything she says is correct or completely the entire story. But I still have no excuse for him, what he did. And she said that she actually didn't lose the baby because of the domestic violence, but that she aborted a baby on purpose, which must have hurt him even more. But I know, actually, from the moment we met, we had strong sense of having a baby together. It was not something we said or did, but it was just something that was drawing us like crazy. And when I met him that one day, one beautiful day in July, when I gave him his gift, he was not only, I've never seen, I'm a gift giver. I give gifts to everyone, not just people I love. I mean, of course, people I love, but not just like love interests, but I give gifts to so many people. I love giving gifts. I've never seen, though, anyone with such a childlike wonder when he opened his gift. He was just speechless. He was his expression was something I've never seen in my life. And he took me to a place on our lake by our hometown that is called the Bridge of Love. He didn't say anything. He didn't say I love you. He just took me. He said, I want to take you there. And he said, I'm leaving her. I'm packed. I cannot do that anymore. It was a mistake, but you did mistakes too, so you forced me to do that, blah blah blah. And like I said, she contacted me in the afternoon, but that afternoon, when we were on that bridge, I told him, this is what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You are trying to be a father to someone who is now without a dad, and you're trying to give back to something that you didn't have as a child. And that's honorable, but that's a wrong reason to be with someone. It is not you what you want. I know we love each other, and I know, and he, the way he was with me, he was so happy to be together and be with me. And I told him, if you want to be a father, we should have a child together. If you want, I will not insist on it, but just want you to know that I would be ready for that. And he was very quiet when I said that. He didn't say anything. So even though he made a child to another woman, I felt that this was his wish. This was something that he had kept inside. That was something that we had, like that was the energy that was growing between us, that just somehow channeled there. And then when it became reality for him, then he probably freaked out and felt betrayed. Or it could be that, I mean, because he's a man, you cannot force someone to have a child with you. So let's be honest. He was part of making that child. But now, when she told me, that was so hurtful for me, because I wanted to have the child, and then someone is ready to abort a child with a man that I was feeling that was perfect to be a father to my child, even if he wouldn't take care of it, even if I was a single mother, I would not mind that at all. And now somebody is killing a child just because somehow she wants to revenge that cruel thing that he did to her. I don't disregard that what he did to her was cruel. But then again, why was he not violent when he was with me? He's not a violent person. Something must have happened. And also she's inconsistent when she said to me that she cursed me every single day. When she heard that I was back in town, she cursed me because he would talk about me. He would mention me to her. And she said, maybe this is karma back to me because I wanted evil things. I wished evil things upon you. I was envious of you and I wished you dead. And now he ended up beating me, and I ended up losing a child. And I don't want to have a child with a man like him. So very messed up situation. And this is all me now talking about that, planning to go back in May. And in the meantime, like I said, when I went back in May 2020, back to Europe, back to Bosnia, and I didn't want to contact him first. I didn't want to get involved in what he was going through. That was, you know, I knew he was going to find out from people that I'm back in town. He saw me and he was going to contact me if he wanted to, and he did. But what happened is Marin, the other guy that I met in 2019, has crawled back into my life. He just came on to my house. He begged, he cried, he prayed on his knees that I take him back, that he loves me, that he waited for me the entire winter for me to come back to town, that he loves me deeply. And he cried. His eyes were filled with the biggest tears that I've ever seen in my life. And I just I didn't have heart not to accept giving him another chance, and thinking that this other man, Marion, was in relationship with someone, and it was on a long stick if he was going to contact me again. I told Marin I have a gift for him and I will give him a gift, but don't be angry about that. I just brought it back from US, and it's kind of like a keeping my word. And I want to see him again. And Marin always knew that I had these deep feelings for Miriam, because I met him at the time when I broke up with the religious guy, and Miriam was not enough, and I was in the rut, and then he was the one making me laugh. But you remember that I told you that Marin was using drugs before he met me. And when he met me, he stopped using the drugs. But however, he has a background of criminal history of 3 years. He never have been in jail, but because he's very young, and people kind of look through their fingers, and the judge and the local police, they just gave him a few more chances to recover and to start a new life and be okay. And I played a great role in that. So he stopped using drugs. He was with me in 2019, but I was hoping that he would just go on his own, that he was ready to start his new life with drug-free and without me. However, like I said, he came back and he said, I love you. I cannot stand being a few blocks away from your house, because he lives in my neighborhood, and not being able to talk to you or see you. Please just give me another chance. So I did. I gave him another chance, and we started a very kind of serious relationship in that period from May until July in 2020. And he would spend a lot of time with me. We were almost like people who lived together. He would go home just to change his clothes, wash his clothes, come back. I became good friends with his mother, his father. We did barbecues together and stuff. But he kind of switched from drugs to alcohol, to beer. Beer 10 in the morning, beer 8 in the morning. And I started arguing with him. You cannot drink this early in the morning. We can go out in the night. And like I said, from being religious, I've changed so much over the year. I started going out. I I started taking back on a secular life, and I do that, and I don't want anybody to judge me about that, because I realize so much hypocrisy in um, these religious environments, that I just couldn't take that much hypocrisy anymore. So I told him, let's just do it on Saturday night. Let's go dancing. And I actually was the one initiating that. So he would not become an alcoholic, drink during the morning and stuff like that. But it just, I wasn't strong enough to help him. I was helping him to get a sense of work ethics, to work with me, helping me remodel my house. He did that a bit, but in reality, he didn't show much will for that. In reality, he turned out to be a lazy person. Then he started being narcissistic, very narcissistic. The relationship turned so toxic that practically I had to always listen to his music, watch his YouTube videos, everything he had to share with me, and I had no right to say anything. It turned very toxic, very trapped. Again, there was a lot of trap feeling with him in 2019, and that's why I didn't want to go back with him. But like I said, he pleaded for me, and I accepted to give him another chance. But then he took that chance in a very narcissistic way and started being bossy, being like almost acting like a abusive husband, mentally abusing me. And when I couldn't take it anymore, I broke up with him in end of July, uh, to be correct, 30th of July 2020. And he said, let me just go back to your house and take my bike that he left. I bought a car in Europe, so we drove my car and went back to my house, and then he lost it. He lost his temper, and he does have a history of violence. He once attacked his father. I recently heard from police officer that once in the past he attacked his own mother, which I can't believe because she never shared that with me. And then he threw a bike at me on July 30th, and I reported to police, and I was super scared, and things turned to hell, to hellish experience with him. And I, of all people, couldn't believe that something like that would happen to me. Now, hearing what happened now with the other woman, with Miriam, you can see how parallel the stories become. But however, again, I'm saying that Marin had drug issues. He has psychiatric history as well, staying at the psychiatric hospital 3 years ago. And all I wanted to do is help him get back on his feet. And people don't understand that. One of the inspectors who came to my house, actually in November, and I'm going to get to that story, he said, were you trying to play Jesus? And I said, no, I am trying to be like Jesus. I was trying to help him. You got that right. And I became a victim of domestic violence. I became a victim of toxic relationship. So like I said, I broke up with him, and then Miriam contacted me. I gave him a gift. That didn't work out. So after that horrific experience, I discontinued contact with both of them, with Marin and Miriam, and I lost it. I really lost it. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, like always I am. I didn't stop believing in twin flame concept at all, but I stopped having hope or faith that it will ever be right. And I turned to just relationships with no attachment, not on purpose, not like let's go out and let's have fun and let's meet a guy and let's have a one night stand. I never did that intentionally. But as I started going out again with some friends, I met a guy, I hooked up with him. He hooked up with me. We saw each other a couple of times, but he wasn't serious about it. I wasn't serious about it. And I actually might have influenced him when I said, if you don't call me, that's fine. Don't call me. Like, I kind of lost hope in love and twin flame relationship, or even good soulmate relationship whatsoever, in love in general. And so I met a just fun loving guy, and we went out a couple of times, and it just turned into nothing. It was nothing. He didn't contact me much after that. Occasionally he would send me a text message that I was like, I'm not in town. I'd make up stuff and I didn't want to see him again. And then I heard from Miriam again, and I told him, you lied. You didn't break up with that woman. He said, now I will. Now I for sure will. I promise you. And we got back together. And then next day, she contacted me that he was back in her house. So I texted him and I said stuff about his trauma from childhood. I opened up to him finally, and I told him that I think that what he's doing, when he is sabotaging our love, is because of his childhood dramas. And he said, you are not normal. That was his words. And that was one of the most painful things someone said to me in my life. You're not normal. I know I'm not normal. Uh, I wouldn't want to be any other way, but the way he said it, it was like, you're insane, right? It was such a deep offense that I just kind of, it just broke my soul completely. And I contacted Marin again. I know that sounds insane. It was insane. I did it on purpose, knowing that I'm doing the most insane thing in my life, almost like a suicidal move to commit my own suicide by contacting someone who was abusive to me. And I asked him to get back together again, to try something insane. I actually contacted him. He answered the phone immediately. He came to meet me at the coffee shop. We sat down, looked at each other's eyes, and he actually told me that he already met another girl who was right for him. And that was actually something that I was secretly praying for, that he meets someone else, gets in his own new path, to forget me, to stop obsessing about me, to stop visiting my house constantly and begging me to come back together. And when it finally happened, I had this crush of my heart and my soul, and these suicidal thoughts that I just turned 360 degrees around and did the most insane thing, to contact him, sit down and say, break up with that girl. He said, I will do that immediately because I do love you. And he took us to another bar where this girl was with his friends, introduced me to her and told her, this is my love. This is the one I was telling you about. I'm back with her again. We love each other. We're going to be together. And I told him, it's going to be insane. You're insane. You are insane. Like, I didn't tell him like the Miriam told me in a bad way, but I told him, you know, you have psychological problems. I know that, but we're going to try the impossible. We're going to try impossible, and we're going to prove that love can win, because I need to go against all odds in this life, or I'm going to go against the waterfall in our hometown. I was so suicidal. I was so on the breaking point that I didn't know what I was doing, but actually I did know what I was doing. I was doing the most insane thing in my life. And he was there. He answered me immediately, and he came back to me immediately, apologized to that girl. We actually had a couple of drinks with that girl and other friends, and she was like, I know he loves you. He kept talking about you constantly. And I was doing the most suicidal thing that I've ever done in my life, consciously, to try the impossible. And then we were together until, like I said, November. I mentioned November earlier, so that was from August to November. We spent every single moment together, and things got worse and worse and worse. He drank more and more and more and became more mentally abusing. Now, knowing that I begged him to come back to me, he knew that I did the most insane thing in my life. And narcissist, you cannot do that with narcissists, because then they take reins over and it's a hell. It's a living hell. And I was the one initiating that. And I'm sharing that with you guys now. And yes, I wanted to prove to Miriam that I was insane, that I was doing the most insane thing in my life. And how that turned about was, I tried with my insane will to make this work. However, I am not insane like I wanted to be. So it was driving me crazy to become insane every single day. If any of you have been with narcissists, then you know what I'm talking about. And my only explanation of all these stories and everything that happens to me that I dive into with my life is that God wants through me to experience all these types of relationships. I've never been in a narcissistic relationship before. Now I know about it. I've never been in an abusive relationship before. I know now about it. I've never been in a relationship with someone who had childhood traumas like Miriam does, and now I know about it. And I feel, even though it's so painful for me, and it was such a hard journey so far, still God knows that I have the strength to go through this so that I can learn about it and share with others, and he still keeps me safe in some miraculous way. I know this sounds insane, and it was, like I'm saying, it was insane thing to do, but I did it. However, I couldn't take it. I like the inspector said, I was playing Jesus, yes, but I couldn't take it. It came to the point when I told him, no more, I cannot do this anymore. And we had a huge fight. It was not in my house, it was outside of my house, it was on the street. He grabbed my arm. He didn't hit me, but he grabbed my arm really hard and scared living hell out of me. And I ran home in my car. He followed me, and then the all hell broke out. He tried to break into my house. He was using all the garden tools that I had outside, laying outside, that I was gardening the day before. He tried to break into the house. He was screaming bloody murder. He was trying to get in to basically kill me, to murder me. And I lived through something that you would see in the movies, like The Boy Next Door. I recommend you see the movie J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, the movie called The Boy Next Door. My life turned into Boy Next Door movie. It was a thriller. It was the hardest night of my life, the scariest night of my life. For 45 minutes, he banged on the door. He tried to get in. He broke my windows. He threw rocks at my balcony. He tried everything. And I had 4 locks installed on my door. He broke through one of the doors and then couldn't get through the other, but I heard the glass breaking, and I was hiding in one of the rooms, sort of like a panic room, where I had a second key. I pushed the furniture against the door. Like a living hell was happening to me. And I knew that moment, if he got to me, he would have killed me. He would have killed me. He completely lost his mind, because he couldn't accept that he was being refused, and that someone would give up on him completely. And I did. I just couldn't take it anymore, and I did, risking my life, but I did. I knew he was gonna break hell and do what he did, but I risked it. And I told him, we are no longer gonna be together. This was the last time. This was the last drop. I tried, but I can't do this. I tried against all odds, but it's not working out. And he did that. And a friend of mine, I couldn't call the police. Somehow my phone couldn't reach out to police. And a friend of mine, I called, and he heard the screams. He was making the screams. He was breaking in. He was making terrible sounds. And a friend of mine called the police. The police came finally after 45 minutes. Scariest moments of my life. I survived the war as a child, and it wasn't as scary as that, because in the war you share your experience with other people around you. You have your family members, you have other kids, everybody's scared, but it's kind of a thing that people go through together. And I was completely alone, just me. I was never closer to God than in that moment. And yeah, these are the photos from the previous time when he injured me with the bike, and I did it again. And this time everybody was laughing at me. The police, not in my face, but they were kind of like, what in the world were you thinking? Why did you get back with him again? You know he's a crazy little boy. And like I said, I told him, yes, I was trying to do the impossible. And I risked my own life, and it didn't work out. And then I packed in such a hurry, left my house almost overnight. I packed my bags, came back to United States, and blocked all my contacts with him and everything. I was so scared for my life. And I don't blame anybody but myself. And I still, when I finally admitted to my parents what happened in Europe, I still tell them, it couldn't have happened any other way. It had to happen that way because of the way the destiny flows, and I go with the flow. I guess we all gonna die in the end, so I just did how the fate was playing out. And maybe that's why I wasn't sharing with you guys, because there's so many hard moments and crazy moments. This is my door, if you see on the screen now, if you pay attention. This is my door that he was breaking into, and thank God I had 4 locks installed. And the police was like, wow, you did an amazing job. You installed good locks. I guess I knew deep down that that was going to happen sooner or later. And then I was contemplating, I was so scared, I was contemplating, should I ever go back to Europe again? What if he tries to kill me again? What if we get in touch again? What if I cannot escape him again? And then every day I prayed, and I begged God to give me answers how to come back. I contacted some authorities in Europe, and they didn't do anything about helping me out, because they said when it came to drugs, they cannot find any on him anymore, so they cannot charge him with that. He was in prison that night after he attacked my house, but then he was released. So I was wondering, how in the world will I go back home? How will I continue my journey? I messed up big time. This boy may be waiting for me to try something again. Maybe not. Maybe he will calm down. Maybe he will forget the whole thing. Or maybe I'm in real danger when I go back. So I was contemplating, should I use my return ticket this May 2021? Should I go back? And then the next story happens. Next story is, if you see on the screen, you see this crown tattoo on this hand. Yeah. I got a friend request on Facebook by a, you're not gonna believe this, but by older brother of the guy that I had few like one night stands during that period before I got back with Marin. I got a friend request from a guy who didn't know that I knew his brother back home. This guy lives in Austria, in also Europe, in Austria, and he left our hometown about 6 years ago. He lives in Austria, and he kind of had a friend recommendation on Facebook, and he sent me a friend request. And he didn't contact me. He didn't start talking to me. He wasn't trying to, like meet a girl or something. But when I would send funny memes to people, to my friends on Facebook, after I accepted his friend request, I would send them like randomly to everyone. And one day I sent something funny, some funny meme, and he responded, and we started talking. And then I recognized the last name, and I asked him, do you know that guy? Like, I dated a guy like really shortly back in summer. Do you know him? And he's like, oh my goodness, that's my brother. That's my younger brother. So as we started talking, we became so much close to each other, and turned out to be such amazing match in everything that I have interest for, everything that the way we love to cook, the way we love to dance, the same music we listen to. And then he started like showering me with his love, just like showering me with his love. And one day, and his life, yes, he showed me by just accident on a video his hand, top of his hand, and I saw the crown, the crown that represents the kingdom, old kingdom of Bosnia, and that crown has deep symbolic meaning for my life journey, for something that I want to do as a twin flame, for something so important to me that I recognize that as a sign from God. And I told him I cannot tell you what exactly it means, but I know that you're the one, that you were marked with that. And he says, it's funny because when I did this tattoo, I did it with my ex-girlfriend, and she cheated on me. She broke up with me. She's married now. She has a kid. And everything we talked about was parallel. Everything was matching. And he recognized all of my skills, all that I am, that is my worth, that who I am is. And he, like I said, showered me with every single love song that ever I wanted to be heard, that I ever wanted someone to send to me. Every single song that I heard in my life that I wished it was meant for me, he picked that song and sent it to me. It wasn't by mistake. It wasn't an error. And for the first time, I wasn't feeling that I was getting a channeler, but a true soulmate, someone who can fulfill my life mission. And since like 10 days after we started talking, it was so fast, it was so intense. He offered me marriage. He offered me to come back to Europe. He contacted Marin. Turns out they know each other. They used to do breakdancing together 6 years ago before he left town. And then suddenly I realized that Marin used to show me videos of this guy, of this same guy. He had so much regards for him. He was a really famous breakdancer. He's older than Marin, so he was looking up to him. And then, without even telling me, this guy contacted Marin and told him, do not get near her when she comes back to town. Stay away from her or you will be in trouble with me, because he's a nice guy, but nice guys are sometimes more, people are more scared of them because they really mean it. And I felt first time protected, and I felt my prayers were answered. And like I said, he talked constantly about marriage, about how great match we were, how everything we would really finish each other's sentences like I heard people do. Like we would chat and I would say something and we would say the same thing at the same time, or I would start a sentence and he would finish it. It was crazy, it was insane, and we both knew that it was happening so fast. But then again, when you're a true soulmate, that it just happens and you cannot stop it. And after 1 month of talking over Messenger and video talks, he asked me to put status of my relationship with him to link together on social media. And I've never done that in my life. I've never done that, and I accepted that. And then he started being inconsistent about, he would always call me and then suddenly he would be like unavailable when he gets home. And I started feeling insecure and worried and scared that he was lying to me, that there was something going on. And I still don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But in the last week, things went bad. And he kept saying that I suspect on him too much. And I kept having this gut feeling that I was not wrong about that, that there was reasons for me to believe that. And not to bother you with these details right now, because this is already a long video, but long story short, he just told me he wanted to take a break from us. He said that 5 days ago, and I couldn't believe of all the love that he showered me with, that he just decided to pull away, and that his love could be just gone in just one day. And I tried talking to him again, and it didn't work out. And today I just found out he blocked me, and I don't know what to think anymore. Honestly, my friends, I don't know what's next. I will try, I swear to God, I will try to make videos more often, but I don't know. Somehow, there's something he said, and I don't know if that does that make any sense, but I remember when we started talking, I told him about my past, and he told me about his past, and he was the one who said, "You're my last chance." And I told him, "You're my last chance at help, at love and relationship. And if this doesn't work out, I don't want to try again with anybody else." And I know that's a lie, because the hope is the hardest thing to kill inside a person. But I cannot just disregard this crown on his hand, and I pray to God that he will meet me in May like he promised. But I just found out today that he blocked me, and maybe it was just illusion. Maybe it wasn't real, but I cannot accept that, because I know we were so perfect for each other. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm so emotional right now. I just can't believe that somebody would just throw me away after seeing all the signs that we were meant for each other. Was this another karmic relationship? What was this, just another channeler? Because the moment he blocked me, someone else that I met this summer, and it had nothing to do with him, but we kind of met, and he tried to make advances in me, but I refused. He immediately contacted me right after he blocked me. That was like today, and he said exactly same things, like a deja vu. "I want to marry you. You're a perfect girl. You have everything that a man wants in a woman. You are a goddess. You are this. You're that." And then I told him, "Please don't say that. Please don't say that. It seems like you're all channeling. You're just channeling my twin flame." I don't know. I don't know, guys, what to think, or what to do right now. All I could think of is to make this video, and maybe some of you have advice for me, because after all, we are a twin flame community, and maybe you have a story to share with me. So please comment below the video. You can message me. uh, I mean, I hope that this video helped you to reflect on some of the situations that you found yourself in. Oh, and by the way, 5 days ago, when things started going wrong with me and him, Merim, yes, Merim, the motorcycle guy, out of nowhere, put a like on a video that I posted about my mother. Had nothing to do with me. It wasn't a song. It wasn't a like on my photo. It was like on my mother video, and nothing else. No response, no message, just like on my mother's video. So just kind of giving me a sign that he's still watching my social media. I really don't know what to think. I'm confused. I've never been this confused in my life, because I really thought this guy was it. It was it. The connection on spiritual and emotional and intellectual level was so pure. But he said that he's afraid that I would get disappointed. He would get disappointed, because we never met each other in physical form, so like in 3D. So he would have to just leave everything until May. That he rushed into things, that he did this. And when I was like, "How can you do that? How can you just like bombard me with 20-30 songs a day and tell me stuff and contact me constantly?" Yes, I was a little bit suspicious of some things, and some things happened in the last couple of days, but that's not a reason to just put us on a break. How can you just do that after all the emotions that you showed? And then all I did, push him further, and he blocked me. and now I'm blocked, and I feel on a status quo with everything. I don't know. I don't know. I know I'm being impatient, but it's kind of running. My patience is running. So give me some advice, share some comments, subscribe, share the video, like. Um, I love you guys. I do. I swear on my name. I love you. I'm having a rough time right now, and I just feel better, much better to share what happened in the summer and this winter. And sometimes I'm mad at myself for still having hope, but we'll see what the next day brings. I love you guys. Stay well and share. I love you.